Well, fans, welcome back to Doubledays Baseball here on July the 15th. It is Saturday, and we are on the road in Batavia for the second time this year. The Doubledays are taking on the Muckdogs here inside Dwyer Stadium. Hello, everybody. Trevor Curl, welcome back to another glorious day of baseball. The sun, well, it's not shining tonight. It is a much more overcast night tonight. The rain came on through before the ball game and completely soaked the playing surface. Grounds crews have been working hard at work double time to get this field playable, and they did within just a little over an hour and a half delay. But we are ready for baseball. Let's take a look at the starting lineups tonight. First for the visitors in your Auburn Doubledays. Leading things off will be the shortstop, Carson Gross. Batting second will be the left fielder, Fernando Espinal. Batting third will be the designated hitter, Hazel Martinez. Batting fourth will be the extra hitter, Bobby Stang. Batting fifth will be the first baseman, Garrett Prosper. Batting sixth, the right fielder, A.J. Wenrich. Batting seventh will be the second baseman, Riley Brody. Batting eighth, the catcher, and James Bolton. Batting ninth, Michael Woolley, the third baseman. And rounding off the order, batting 10th, Emil Sander. Doubledays are going off a tough right-hander in Ryan Kinney. And this year he is 3-0 on the summer so far in 21 innings pitched. As the first pitch comes in, it's a fastball at the bottom of the zone for a called first strike on the switch hitter, Carson Gross. Giving up 4 hits, 3 runs, only one of those were earned. He's walked 4, struck out 25. Opponents batting 54 cents on him. The 0-1 pitch on the way, swinging a ground ball, sharply hit foul down the first base side towards the Doubledays dugout. Look out down there. Looks like Riley Brody and Steve LaRose were in harm's way and had to duck back into the steps of the dugout. No balls, 2 strikes here as we begin play on a little bit of a gloomier Saturday than the last couple of days. Wind sharply blowing from right field out towards the left field foul pole. Kenny, the right-hander, looks in. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball snapped down the inside corner for a called third strike. Carson Gross, the first victim of the evening for Ryan Kinney. One away, that'll bring up Fernando Espinal. Let's take a look at how the Muckdogs will line up defensively behind Ryan Kinney. Going from left to right, Kyle Hetherington in left field, Rashad Robinson in center, Josh Leadham out in right field, Victor Alonji at third base, Caleb Rodriguez at shortstop with Lucas Lopez at second. Ryan Kinney's first pitch to Fernando Espinal, breaking ball taken on the inside edge for a called strike, 0-1. Trey Bacon anchors the infield at first base, and Bryce Mortellaro will be the back end of the battery tonight. Kinney looks in, gets his sign. Mortellaro sets up outside the 0-1 pitch. Fastball catches the knees again for a called strike 2, and Espinal in a quick 0-2 hole, very same as Carson Gross. Fernando, the unfortunate strikeout batter tonight. If he gets 3, the whole stadium will receive a free appetizer. The 0-2 pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3. He goes fishing out for a breaking ball in the dirt. 1 down, 2 to go. That gets the fans excited. Back-to-back strikeouts on the ballgame for Ryan Kinney. And there's 2 away. That will bring up the dangerous left-handed bat of Hazel Martinez. Hostile environment indeed. The Doubledays were their first time coming back to Batavia since a doubleheader back in June. The first pitch is a fastball taken on the outside corner for a called first strike. 0-1 on Martinez. It was a doubleheader that the Doubledays did not really appreciate too much. Lost 9-0 in Game 1 and then 1-0 in Game 2. Kenny, the right-hander, looks in, gets his sign. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball taken down in the dirt for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike evens up the count on Hazel Martinez. Doubledays will have Devin McWaters, the Lake Stevens native, throwing on the mound in the bottom half of the first. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a tapper. Third base side. It still has some English on it, rolling down the line. And it's picked up foul by Victor Alonji right before it hit the bag. So Martinez down to a 1-2 count. Auburn, when they're on the road away from Falcon Park, batting .243, scoring 74 runs. The average all right at .243, but the slugging at a .331, a lot lower than when at home. Martinez really taking his time before digging himself back in the box. The Jeopardy theme plays behind in the background. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball swipes away at the back foot for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to even up the count here in the top half of the first inning. Auburn's Booster Club well represented in attendance, all wearing white shirts on the first base side with all the cowbells from a couple nights ago. The 2-2 pitch, swinging a line drive back to the screen, foul on a breaking ball. And so we'll try it again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Packed house tonight, second time we're here on a firework night. The last firework night we were at, it was a pretty fun experience watching from the parking lot, walking back to the bus. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way, swinging a line drive, center field, going back on its Robinson. He's there to make the catch and retire the side. 1, 2, 3 in order, go the Doubledays. We now go to the bottom half of the second inning. Make that the bottom half of the first inning. Doubledays nothing, and the Muckdogs coming up. Welcome back to Dwyer Stadium in Batavia, New York. The Doubledays take the field behind Devin McWaters. Let's see how they'll line up. Going from left to right in the outfield, starting in left, Fernando Espinal will take care of things in the corner. Emil Sander in center field. A.J. Wenrich will take care of right. Michael Woolley at the hot corner. Carson Gross at shortstop. Riley Brody up the middle as well at second base, anchored by Garrett Prosper at first base. And behind the plate, doing the catching, the back end of the battery for McWaters, James Bolton. For the Charleston Southern hard-throwing right-hander, it's been a pretty decent year so far. 3.29 ERA, giving up 6 runs. 5 of those have been earned. Walked 6, struck out 18. Opponents batting under league average at a 200 against McWaters this year. Second time getting a start this summer. His last opening start came back at home last week against the Geneva Red Wings. Unfortunately took a loss, but can't really blame him too much. He came into a spot start, did well. Only had one troublesome inning where he gave up multiple runs. They weren't earned, however. One of those runs weren't earned. That ultimately was the deciding run until McWaters' night was done. So he went 5 strong innings in that ball game. As Josh Leadham will lead things off the right-handed bat. Digs in against McWaters. Hostile territory, as we mentioned, for the Muckdogs. The first pitch on the way for McWaters. A fastball downstairs low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. The last time the Doubledays played here in Batavia, Jack Connolly got the start in the game 1 loss. Here's the 1-0 pitch from McWaters. A fastball that catches the outside corner for a called first strike. 1-1 the count on the way to lead him. Then the glove out in front of his face. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Check swing. Does he go around? Check to the field umpire. Yes, he does, down the first base line. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes here as we begin the bottom half of the first inning. McWaters looks in, gets his sign. Bolton sets up high. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way, swinging a jam shot, left field shallow. Out is Gross. He's going out, makes the catch in front of a diving Fernando Espinal, and runs away with the baseball into left field. A scary start to the ball game in the bottom of the first inning, but it all ends up in a Josh Leadham fly out to shallow left field. No harm done, 1 away, and that will bring up the left-handed hitting switch hitter Lucas Lopez. Well, the scene when we got to the ballpark was a lot different than what we're at here in the bottom half of the first inning. Once we got to the ballpark, the rain just decided to pour. The first pitch, breaking ball, misses outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Lopez. We got to the bus. Bus parked in the parking lot. Looks like batting practice was going to commence. The 1-0 pitch, swinging a line drive, roasted foul, third base side, off the wall and away. Got to the ballpark. It was pretty decent weather. The screens were out. Everything was out for the batting practice. Tarp and the screens. The cage as well, the 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball sent on the ground over to shortstop. Carson Gross works in, sends a throw over to Prosper. It's in time to get Lucas Lopez down the first baseline. 2 away here in the bottom half of the first inning, and that will bring up Adam Agresti, the extra hitter. But to go back to the bus trip, it was a smooth hour 45-minute ride. However long it takes to get to Batavia, we weren't exactly keeping track ourselves on the bus. But once we got to the ballpark, we were ready to take batting practice, and then the rain just came in, and it was hitting the field hard for about an hour or so. Here comes the first pitch on the way. Fastball bounced in for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes on Agresti. We were slated for a 6:35 start time, maybe even a little bit earlier than that, but like we mentioned, that rain just came in and flooded the infield. The 1-0 pitch on the way, breaking ball, sent foul back to the screen. Count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. But it was a long waiting game in the clubhouse. Guys were playing hacky sack. Some guys were out throwing on the field. Some guys were taking a walk in center field. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way from McWaters. Breaking ball swung on and missed off the outside corner for a swinging strike 2. McWaters is only 1 strike away from his first K of the evening. The right-hander from the windup looks in, gets his sign. Couple of shakes of the head, now a nod. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball bounced in the dirt with a good stop from Bolton. Count evens up at 1. Make that 2 balls and 2 strikes. Quick turnaround from last night. Coming back from Jamestown. Didn't get back to Falcon Park until a very, very late 1:15. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball pulled outside for ball 3, and the count runs full at 3-2. And with the delay tonight and the long bus ride back, it will be another late one before a doubleheader against the Tarp Skunks tomorrow at home at Falcon Park. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball taken down low for ball 4. So it's a 2-out walk to James, make that Adam Agresti, and that will bring up James Assalta, the designated hitter. Well, it's a very different scenery tonight than from last night. Absolute gorgeous day out near the Pennsylvania border. McWaters from the stretch looks in, gets his sign from Bolton, the first pitch. Fastball paints the outside corner for a called strike at the knees. It's 0-1. On the extra hitter tonight, entering the ball game, batting .367 with 19 RBIs. Short lead over at first base. Here comes the 0-1. Breaking ball sent on the ground at third base. Backing up is Woolley. It kicks off the heel of his glove and heads off into left field for an error on Michael Woolley. Error number 11 on the year. Error number 31 for the Doubledays. And it keeps the second inning, make that the first inning alive for Victor Alonji. Well, it's tough. It's a flying chopper hit. It's right off the dirt. And Woolley decides instead of taking the first hop, he's going to try it to take a step back and catch the in-between hop. Instead, it eats him up on the heel. Runners advance to first and second, still with only 2 out. They take their leads. Couple of looks in at second. Here comes the first pitch on the way. A fastball on the outside corner for a called first strike on Victor Alonji. 9 RBIs for him so far this year. An on-base percentage of .260. A little bit of a struggle at the plate with a .229. Right-hander looks in, delivers a breaking ball outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike evens the count. Well, for the Doubledays, the 31 errors don't look exactly overwhelming. Couple looks at second, the 1-1. Check swing on a breaking ball down low. No check for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Doubledays entering into this ball game, turning 21 double plays and having a fielding percentage as a team at .969. That was best for third in the league. Entering into tonight, the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Fastball runs above the hands, gets a swinging strike 2 from Alonji. Count evens up once again at 2-2. On the other side for Batavia, a little bit more middle of the pack in the league. 40 errors with a .956 fielding percentage. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball pulled outside for ball 3, 3-2. And now the runners will get a head start at first and second, and a ball in the gap could lead to trouble. Speaking of the outfield for the Doubledays, they're playing shallow and in. Not expecting the ball to kick off the grass too quick. The 3-2 pitch on the way, swinging a foul back to the screen, and we'll try it again at 3-2. A very rowdy atmosphere indeed here inside Dwyer Stadium. 14-2 at home for the Muckdogs this year, 7-8 on the road. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. The runners take off on the way, swinging a cue shot foul back to the screen. Try it again at 3-2. Battle continues. Runners at first and second. Agresti over at second. Assalta over at first base. The right-hander looks in. The runners have a huge lead. They take off. The 3-2, swinging a pop-up. First base side and foul. Out into the crowd. We'll retry 3-2. Runners retreat back to the bases yet again. It's a good voice of Doubledays fans by the first base dugout. They got the cowbells that we had a couple of weeks ago. In fact, I still have mine in my backpack. Runners at second and first, they take their leads. The 3-2 on the way, swinging a foul back to the screen. A healthy battle coming from Victor Alonji, keeping this one alive. Limited action so far this year. Only has 9 strikeouts to his name. He's not an easy man to K up. McWaters, his specialty is the strikeout, looking for another one here. Time is called now by the right-hander. Takes a step out of the box. McWaters with a re-swipe of the cleats over at the mound. Leans over his left leg, looks into James Bolton, flashing signals with the fingertips. Infield spread out wide and deep, trying to keep everything in front of them and keep that runner from scoring at second base, who will have a head start. Early trouble here for McWaters. He will hold for a while. Now comes set from the belt. Looks in. The runners taking a couple extra steps off the bags. They take their leads. They take off the 3-2 pitch on a ground ball over the Woolley. This one more routine. The throw to first base is low, and it's in time. Over to Garrett Prosper to retire the side. Batavia threatens with a little 2 out base runners, but leave them stranded as we go to the top half of the second inning. The Doubledays and the Muckdogs knotted up at 0-0. Welcome back to Batavia here inside Dwyer Stadium. The Doubledays will have 4, 5, and 6. Bobby Stang, Garrett Prosper, and A.J. Wenrich due up in order against Ryan Kinney, who set down the Doubledays 1-2-3 back in the top half of the first inning. Strikeout, and then a fly out. Bobby Stang will lead us off with 306 average, 30 for his last 98 this summer. He's about to pass the 100 at-bat marker unless, of course, he gets the improbable hit by a pitcher, walked 4 times today. First pitch, breaking ball, taken over the heart of the plate at the knees for a called first strike. It's 0-1 the count. Bobby Stang with an RBI double last night against the Tarp Skunks that might have been able to hit halfway up the batter's eye here at Dwyer Stadium. A 0-1 breaking ball taken down low for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike evens up the count. 2 home runs on the year so far for Bobby, with a team lead with 27 RBIs. Very relaxed stance. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Goes fishing in the dirt for a sinker. Now the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Doubledays entering into this ball game batting .236 as a ball club, scoring 171 runs. The high-powered offense indeed. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a line drive, roasted foul past the coach's box of Ben Julian. And take a look at those coaches' box. Ben Julian in the third base, and over at first base is Logan Matson. Played on Doubledays back in the 2021 season, the first time the Doubledays were in the PGCBL, and the first baseball to be played inside Falcon Park since the New York Penn League Auburn Doubledays. The right-hander looks in, gets his sign. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way to Bobby Stang. Swinging a chopper, third base side off the railing of the dugout. For 1 ball and 2 strikes, we will rinse and repeat. Doubledays have been able to outscore opponents by 54 runs this year, and it doesn't look as pretty with a 13-16 overall record. The 1-2 pitch on the way, swing and a miss, strike 3. Bobby Stang retired on the strikeout. Ryan Kinney cruising through the first 4 batters he's faced. 3 strikeouts mixed in with a flyout. That will bring up Garrett Prosper. And that has been a problem for the Doubledays over the last couple of days, and has been the strikeouts. There's been plenty of times the Doubledays have been flirting with a double-digit strikeout performance. Here comes the first pitch on the way. Fastball taken upstairs for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to Garrett Prosper. Garrett batting .234, 4 doubles, a home run, and 18 RBIs. Slowly climbing up the leaderboard in that category. He's 3rd overall on the ball club. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Make that the 1-0 pitch on the way. A changeup swung and missed in the dirt. 0-1 the count. Make that 1-1 the count, excuse me. We flip back to yesterday. Garrett got the RBI single that got the Doubledays scoring started, and then it was a tough one. 3 strikeouts, all swinging after that. The 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball taken on the inside edge for a called strike 2. It's now 1-2. A.J. Wenrich, the batter, due up next. The right-hander looks in, gets his sign, setting up away is Mortellaro. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball, fished at in the dirt for a swinging strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts. Go the Doubledays, and it looks like it's going to be one of those evenings again, as A.J. Wenrich will stand in the right-handed batter's box with 2 away and nobody on for him. Plenty of strikeout affairs for the Doubledays over the last couple of weeks. Been very high victims of the strikeout course over the last couple of months, as first pitch changeups taken inside for a called strike. That's been a lot of the problems, is almost every pitcher decides just to go right after him. It's not really chasing the first pitch. It's more the Doubledays being a little extra patient in that first strike that's grooved over the plate. The 0-1 pitch on the way, swing and a miss at a breaking ball outside. Wenrich waving at it with his left hand, and now the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Just like that, the hunt is on for Kinney, looking for number 5. The right-hander from the third base side of the rubber comes set. Looks in, here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball painted on the outside corner for strike 3. A.J. Wenrich sees 3 pitches, swings at 1, and now is headed back to the dugout. We now go to the bottom half of the second inning. The Doubledays and the Muckdogs in a 0-0 stalemate going into the bottom half of number 2. Back here in the bottom half of the second inning, and it's going to be another pitcher's duel tonight here in Batavia. As Devin McWaters back out for another inning of work, he will have 6, 7, and 8 due up in order. Trey Bacon, Bryce Mortellaro, and Kyle Hetherington will face the right-hander for the second time here in the bottom half of the second inning. Lights have been turned on inside the ballpark, making it a little bit easier to see throughout the clouds. Outfield for the Doubledays, spread out wide and shallow. Here's the first pitch on the way for McWaters. A changeup swung on and missed, nothing and won the count. Doubledays have a pretty much open bullpen tonight. Thank you to Sam Huff for going 6 strong innings last night. The 0-1 pitch, chopped third base side foul, and almost picked up by Joey Martinez, the skipper for the Batavia Muckdogs, comes up empty on the baseball. Count quickly goes to no ball and 2 strikes for McWaters. He has yet to get a strikeout this evening. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball popped up. Infield, Bolton off of the mask, running close to the stands, and he runs out of room as the baseball gets eaten up by the netting that is overhead, and a sigh of frustration as a baseball is stuck on the top shelf of the netting over the field. And the fans are starting to try and get the net back down. Now a kid is tugging on it, and that baseball is just stuck in a little nook and cranny. We'll try it again at 0-2. McWaters looks in. Bolton sets up on the inside corner upstairs. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball spiked in the dirt for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wind still blowing out from the right field foul pole over to the left field foul pole, straight across. Will make it a little bit easier for right-handers to hit, especially with the jet stream out. Both starters also throwing hard in the 90s. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way, swinging a fastball off the hands and foul. Back to the netting again. This is going to be a long battle for Devin McWaters tonight. We already had a very long at-bat with Victor Alonji to end the first inning, and now a tough one against Bacon. Closed off stance, moved well up in the box. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way, swing and a miss. A strikeout by Devin McWaters, his first one of the ball game. Gets Bacon swinging, and that will bring up Bryce Mortellaro, the catcher, with nobody on here in the bottom half of inning number 2. Still a warm evening here on this July Saturday night. It is certainly humid out with all the rain that we had before the game, and still thunderstorms in the area. The first pitch is bounced down the third baseline, fair. Wooley's got on the backhand. A strong throw across the diamond, and a dart over to Garrett Prosper at first base. That retires Mortellaro 2 away, and that will bring up Kyle Hetherington. It's good to see Michael Woolley find his feet again defensively. He has a lot of range and a lot of athletic ability. Just caught himself in between on the last ground ball. Takes a second to get used to the grass and the dirt, especially when all the rain just poured on the field. The groundskeeper did say the field needed water prior to the game. A first pitch slider misses off the back foot for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes on the left-handed hitting left fielder. McWaters looks in. Bolton sets up outside to tick off the corner. Here comes the 1-0. Swinging a foul back to the screen, and the count evens up at 1-1. Well, for Batavia at home, this is certainly a fortress. We already talked about that earlier. A .265 home average, scoring 96 runs with 127 hits. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a topper, foul. First, make that the third base side. Off to the on-deck circle. It's now 1-2. An OPS of .716 here inside of Dwyer Stadium. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way from McWaters. Popped up, third base side. Woolley taking a look off with the hat. He's running out of room down the line. And it ends up into the Batavia bullpen for another foul ball. And so we'll try it with 1 ball and 2 strikes yet again. Carbon copy of a ballpark to Dwyer Stadium to Falcon Park. Same amount of foul territory, same amount of stands. It pretty much is a exact carbon copy, except for a couple of differences along the stands and down the lines. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way for McWaters. Breaking ball pulled off the inside corner for ball 2, and the count evens up at 2-2. Only slight difference is the high walls back inside Falcon Park only are in left center make that left field and right field down the lines. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball bounced in the dirt for ball 3. And the count runs full to 3-2 to Kyle Hetherington. Currently with 10 strikeouts on the season so far for Hetherington. Only 1 K tonight for McWaters. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swinging and fouled back to the screen. We'll try it again at a full count. Home plate umpire asking for more baseballs as well, and there's been a ton that have been spoiled off into the crowd, left, right, and back to the screen. The right-hander from the windup delivers the 3-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball, backdoors off the corner. Taking off the gloves and the shin guard is Hetherington. He'll motor his way to first base. A 2-out walk will bring up Caleb Rodriguez, the shortstop. Back-to-back innings where McWaters gets the first 2 out and then surrenders a 2-out walk. Very, very dangerous as you take a look at the on-base percentage for the Muckdogs this year. It's a .370 to go along with a .300 slugging, so they're not going to hit you out of the ballpark, but they are going to cause a lot of chaos on the bases. The right-hander looks in, short lead at first base. The first pitch, fastball runs up and inside, limboing Rodriguez out of the way. It's 1-0. .79 stolen bags on the year so far for the Muckdogs. A move over to first base and back in with a dive safely is Hetherington. He's got 2 bags himself this year. Very short lead though at first base. McWaters looks in, couple over at first base. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. A throw over to first base is not in time. Prosper with a swipe tag. Hetherington back to the bag rather easily. Count will even up though at 1 ball and 1 strike. The ball game last night between the Tarp Skunks and the Doubledays ended with Michael Sills picking off for a pinch runner at first base. A la Koji Uehara to Colton Wong. A 1-1 slider fouled off. And now the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. To go back to that Uehara and Wong reference, that was all the way back in the 2013 World Series between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Boston Red Sox. I believe that was either Game 1 or Game 2. It was in St. Louis. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball upstairs, check swung. But it's not enough to get an appeal down to the field umpire in front of second base. 2 balls and 2 strikes, even up the count. Michael Woolley, the third baseman, playing deep down the line. Gross and Brody up the middle onto the outfield grass. Prosper anchoring, holding the man on. Dancing off the bag at first. There goes the runner. Pitch is taken upstairs. The throw to second base is going to be in front of Brody. And it's stolen bag number 3 on the summer so far for Kyle Hetherington with a headlong slide at first base. His uniform is already dirtied up, adding more filth to the pants. It's now a full count at 3-2, and the crowd starts to get a little bit more rowdy again. A 14-2 home record for Batavia so far this year, and this home crowd is certainly a factor in that reason. Dancing off the bag at second. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Fastball misses down low for ball 4. And the Muckdogs are grinding out at bats early against the Doubledays right-hander. It's another walk, and that will bring up Rashad Robinson. Robinson batting .281 on the year so far, 6 RBIs. 18 stolen bags, a lot of speed at the dish. You have to worry about that, especially with the top of this order looming on deck. Brody holding the runner back at second base. Here's the first pitch on the way to Robinson. A fastball runs upstairs for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Doubledays need to make a move on the postseason. Batavia right now comfortable at the top with 21-10 record. Here comes the 1-0 pitch on the way. Slider cued foul down towards the Doubledays dugout. Count evens up at 1-1. Auburn currently 6.5 games back of the division. Make that of the postseason line for the wild card behind Elmira. Goes Batavia, Jamestown, Niagara, Elmira, Auburn, Newark, and Geneva in the West. Top 4 teams make it to the dance. Looking over at second base, McWaters. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a ground ball over to shortstop. Gross has got it. He'll flip it the short way to Brody at second base. and it is in time to once again snuff out another Muckdogs late two-out rally. We now go to the third inning in this one. The Doubledays and the Muckdogs knotted up at 0-0. Picking things up here in the top half of the third inning, the Doubledays and the Muckdogs knotted up at 0. As we lead things off with Riley Brody, James Bolton, and Michael Woolley. 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Doubledays against Ryan Kinney, who has just had his day tonight so far on the mound. He's just showing exactly what he's been given the rest of the West Division so far this year. Right-hander looks in, the first pitch on the way. Cue shot off the end of the bat, shallow center field, sinking in and sinking down for a base hit. Riley Brody cues one off the end of the bat and sends a rainbow into left center field for a lead-off single and a six-man retired in order, all wiped away after the leadoff man reaches for the first time this year. That will bring up James Bolton, and well, the Muckdogs, they decide to give out the visiting team some walk-up music. The first pitch on the way, swing and a miss, waves and a slider down and away for swinging strike one. Riley Brody got the frozen treatment. Bolton with the Jonas brothers. Here comes the 0-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball in the dirt for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. A good stop by Mortellaro behind the plate to keep the baseball in front of him in the other batter's box. Center fielder Rashad Robinson playing quite shallow. A lot of real estate open in the gaps. Brody with the lead at first base. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball down in the way for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike. Bolton goes to Cortland, just east of us in Auburn. A move over to first base. Back in with a dive is Brody, hanging just about a foot off the bag. Had a nice day off last night and gets a start at second base tonight. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a line drive foul. Back to the screen. Count will even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'll tell you, after a couple of cross-country flights, the last 2 bus rides have felt almost like nothing. Brody, healthy lead on first base, dancing. The check swing, does he go around? We don't know yet. Throw to first base, back in with a dive on the back pick. Mortellaro trying to catch Brody off, and a check swing call is a no-go. So the count now runs full at 3-2. You have to question on if Ben Julian might decide to put something on with Brody aboard. Decent speed, a good runner at that. 3-bag swipe this year, 1 caught stealing. Mortellaro setting up on a knee, low and in. Here comes a 3-2 pitch on the way, swinging a line drive. Center field cracked. Going back is Rashad Robinson, still going back. He's there to make the catch and run it down in deep center field. Bolton gave it a charge. Brody retreats back to the first base bag. It's a long out number 1. And that will bring up now Michael Woolley. And that's the part of the game the Doubledays do best, is hit the ball hard. We talk about how many extra base hits the Doubledays have hit so far this year. 53 doubles, 9 triples, and 8 home runs. As a throw gets away down the first baseline up against the tarp. Brody will move her into second base on the error by the pitcher, Ryan Kinney. Didn't have a grip on the baseball. Trey Bacon, the first baseman, had to recover it down the line. Logan Madsen with a heads up, issuing Brody over to second base in scoring position now with only one away. It was a quick move by Kinney. We look down and look back up, and the ball has sailed off into the distance down towards the Doubledays bullpen and against the rain tarp. Opportunity now with a runner in scoring position for Woolley. Takes a step off, and back to the bag goes Riley Brody. Healthy lead off second base. Lucas Lopez ranges in. The first pitch to Woolley. A breaking ball misses upstairs for ball one. Woolley did not get a hit last night, but caused a couple of runs to score. Hit a little chopper down the third baseline. It snuck under the glove of Jamestown's third baseman. 2 runs came in to score. Runners ended up at second and third, and another run came in on a wild pitch. The 1-0 on the way. Fastball runs upstairs for ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. Woolley, more of a platoon man, does a lot better against left-handers than right-handers. So far batting a .03 against right-handers. A .206 on base with a .103 slug and a .348 OPS against right-handed pitching. Make that the first strike taken downstairs on a changeup. It's 2-1 the count. Woolley thought it might have been ball 3. Waves his bat back and forth before stepping back in. Hands held high. Brody with the lead off second base. Inches off. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a ball chopped right off the end of the bat, foul. Count evens up at 2-2. There is just a point where the Doubledays need to take advantage when they have opportunities. Runners in scoring position. They have left a lot of men on base over the last couple of ball games. First base runner to reach tonight cannot leave him stranded in scoring position. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way, swinging a fly ball, first base side. Looking after it is Bacon. He's running out of room, and it ends up foul off the tarp. So we will try this again at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outfielder is being told to shift more to the opposite side for Woolley. A little tardy on the fastball. Center fielder Rashad Robinson moves a little bit towards his glove side in right center field. Josh Leadham really hugging the right field line. Brody dancing off second base with a huge lead. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball hammered in for a called third strike. Strikeout number 6 on the ball game for Ryan Kinney. And now it comes down to Emil Sander here with 2 away, and Brody the runner at second base. We'll take a look at the third baseman, Victor Alonji, where he decides to play. Oh, he's playing back. Emil Sander has already showed a couple of reasons why that's a mistake, and time is called. He takes a step out before working his way back in the box. 2 bunt singles in last night's ball game, and he's been working on it a lot. Alonji still deep down the line. Looking in, the first pitch to Sander. He gets it down, but right back to the pitcher, and Kinney tosses the ball over to first base, and that retires the side. Sander tried to catch him off balance, but it was bunted right to the wrong person, and Riley Brody is left stranded. We now go to the bottom half of the third inning. The Doubledays and the Muckdogs knotted up in a 0-0 stalemate. Picking things up here in the bottom half of the third inning, the Doubledays and the Muckdogs looking at zeros on the scoreboard. As Devin McWaters back out for another inning of work, he will now face the Batavia lineup a second time tonight. As Josh Leadham will lead things off here in inning number 3. 0 for 1 so far. A pop out to Carson Gross in shallow left field his last time up. And before we get the bottom of the third inning started, a quick hello back to Seattle to Renee and Brian McWaters. Both parents for Devin McWaters on the mound. The first pitch is swung on and missed below the knees for a called strike one. It's 0-1. The count on Leadham. Winds now blowing out to center field. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball down low for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Auburn has a pitching staff not doing that bad this year. 3.70 team ERA and 235 and 2/3 innings pitched. The 1-1 pitch from McWaters, a fastball that's ticked off the inside corner, off the glove of Bolton, and back to the backstop for ball 2. Doubledays pitchers have given up 117 runs. Only 97 of those have been earned due to the 30 errors entering the game. The 2-1 pitch, fastball runs a little tight inside for ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes on the leadoff man. 115 walks surrendered, 225 Ks, and given up only 4 home runs. Here comes the 3-1 pitch on the way. Fastball down low for ball 4. So it's another walk, the third one make that the 4th one in the ball game tonight for McWaters. And 27 stolen bases are aboard here with Lucas Lopez, the switch hitting second baseman, due up. Well, Batavia does like to run a lot. We talked about the power numbers and the slugging not being there. However, it is certainly the get on base and motor into second base where extra bases are made. A move over to first base, back in with a dive safely is Leadham at first base. McWaters will keep a very close eye on him. And Bolton with his left-handed batter up. He's a little blocked and screened from the first base bag. Relying on his infielders. The first pitch on the way is a fastball on the outside corner for a called strike 0-1. With McWaters knowing speed is aboard, a lot more fastballs will come to the plate. And that might hurt the Doubledays with Lucas Lopez batting .271 in his limited time on the ball club. A move to first base in the dirt, but a good block by Garrett Prosper. Swipes at the baseball and just is able to keep it in front of him. So no one advances, no one moves anywhere else. We're still at a 0-1 count. Doubleheader tomorrow against the Tarp Skunks back home at Falcon Park. The 0-1 pitch and a bunt gets squared down the third base side. Woolley comes in, gloves it, the throw to first base is in time. A healthy stretch by Garrett Prosper, and the first base coach is out in front screaming to Joey Martinez, the field umpire now, and Martinez converse down by third base. They want a quick talk about the play at first base, and now he's being escorted off the playing surface and crossing the white line down the third base side. He thought Prosper might have pulled off the bag, and now here comes the field and home plate umpire to have a quick conversation to see if they saw anything different. I didn't see if Prosper pulled his foot. We didn't have that good of a view over here. Field umpire, make that the field. The coach was very adamant, and the call stands on the field. It is a out at first base, so the sacrifice does work for Lucas Lopez. Tight play at first base with Woolley crashing in. He saw the bunt a little bit late. McWaters a little slow off the mound at first. He didn't know if Woolley was going to be in to react fast enough. Michael, quite an athlete, down the third base line. And here comes the rain as here comes the crowd moving under cover. And this was, oh boy, it is really coming down here inside Dwyer Stadium. The right-hander looks in, the first pitch, breaking ball, cute foul down the third baseline. And everyone's in retreat under cover, and this rain is absolutely storming down on the field. So we're going to get some friends close to us here under the covers. And everyone's running off the field. The field looking really damp right now with all the rest of the Doubledays starting to run off to get their sweatshirts. McWaters now in his own element in the rain. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Fastball taken in the dirt for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. And you just have to wonder if there's anybody in this situation who you would want the baseball to have. You might as well have it into someone from the Pacific Northwest used to pitching in the rain. This is all McWaters is used to back as a child. Though we are used to more of a turf setting back home ourselves. The rain and the dirt usually don't mix up too well. Some ponchos have been taken out, though, to the fans who are sticking below cover. But hopefully this rain passes soon. We did see this coming on the weather radar. As now time is called, McWaters will take a step off the rubber before making his way back over. The runner at second base, Josh Leadham. Leadoff walk and then moved up to second on the sacrifice bunt. Aggressive hitter, the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball runs up and inside, too tight. McWaters looking for any part of his body that might have any dry fabric. The rain continues to pour down inside Dwyer Field, and now the tarp is looking rather tempting down the first base line. Couple looks at second. Here comes the 2-1 pitch on the way. Taken for a strike on the inside corner. Well, it's been a really good zone up to this point, and then you get the call maybe just a tick inside, maybe even a little low. I'm sure the home plate umpire knows the situation that's going on right now, so any borderline pitch could be going to the way of the pitchers. Couple looks at second. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball taken down low for ball 3. And the last thing you need is a full count here with the way the rain is starting to form down. Lights are completely on in the ballpark, so we can see the amount of rain that's coming down on the field, and it is a lot. It is buckets right now. Everyone under cover, including the players on the benches. The 3-2 pitch on the way. Fastball blocked. Gets away from Bolton. Does not know where the baseball is. Taking the turn around third base and stopping is Josh Leadham. It is another walk, and now McWaters is calling time, and he wants a new baseball from the home plate umpire. You just have to wonder how much more rain can this field take on. The grounds crew is hard at work to get this field playable for a 6:54 first pitch. Just don't know if you have enough diamond dry left in the ballpark to keep this field from being too hazardous. We've already had an incident happen this year with an unsafe field, and now time is called by the umpire as they're going to take a look, and they're getting everybody off the field. So here we go, folks. Yes, that is right. We are in another rain delay. This time it's the Batavia Muckdogs edition of an Auburn Doubledays rain delay. We will try and get information as quick to you guys as possible, but for right now, we're going to leave this on the radio setting. So we'll see what happens, but for right now, it is a current rain delay. So we'll take a look what has happened here. Everyone's still looking for cover. The Doubledays and the Muckdogs are headed off down into the dugouts, and the tarp could possibly be thrown on the field. And that's all the Muckdogs are doing. They're heading down the line, and it looks like they're going to try to get both teams to help throw the tarp onto the field. That's exactly what's going to happen. So the tarp's coming down. A blanket will be placed on the field. So hopefully we'll have this game back and underway if the weather continues and maybe decides to stop. But for right now, it is a rain delay. We'll be right back here from Dwyer Stadium with an update as soon as we can. At the point of this ball game, it is the bottom half of the third inning with one away, with the runners at the corners, with Devin McWaters on the mound. So stay tuned in a 0-0 game. So stay tuned, folks. Hopefully we'll have an update coming up. Well, folks, thank you for staying tuned. We are currently right now going to experience about a 20 to 30 minute temporary delay to see if this game can still get taken care of and possibly played out. Doubledays players are still hanging out around the field. Carson Gross, Michael Woolley, Logan Matson, the assistant coach, Garrett Prosper, and A.J. Wenrich all hanging out down in front of the Doubledays dugout. The entire Batavia Muckdogs team is right now pushing out the tarp out to the outfield. So this is not the best sign to have if you're looking to get this game underway. It is a very, very packed out rain delay, and the whole crew is on the tarp to help get it over the field and covered. So we'll see if we're even able to get this game underway and played, but for right now it's not looking probable. Plenty of rain continuing on throughout the night. Kids are still trying to get the baseball down from the netting that has overhead. MC on the main concourse right now trying to keep these fans entertained. They want a show. Unfortunately, the weather here in Batavia is not cooperating. So we'll be back here on the Doubledays Baseball Network with another update. Hopefully some good news, but at least from our personal expectation of what could happen, it does not look likely. So we'll keep you guys wrapped up. Hopefully the Doubledays will be able to play this game instead of trying to do what they did against the Niagara Power the next time these two are scheduled to take on each other. So we'll be right back here from a delay here inside of Dwyer Stadium. The Doubledays and the Muckdogs currently in a 0-0 game in the bottom half of the third inning with one away and runners at the corners. Hey folks, welcome back to the Doubledays Baseball Network. Both teams have headed off to their respected clubhouses down the right field and left field line. Yep, we're currently in a rain delay. We're still in a rain delay. If we get back on the air, we will at least put out a live stream. But for right now, we're going to kill the stream as it is. Hopefully we have baseball still. It's probably not likely. So just stick around, turn on the little bell notification on the webpage, and that will let you know if we do go live. If you do see that notification, that means we are back to baseball here from Batavia. But for right now, the tarp has completely taken over the field. The rain is still pouring down. Both teams have headed back to the clubhouses. We will head down that way as well. So unfortunately, it is looking like a rain delay and might be a postponed game for the meantime. From Batavia in Dwyer Stadium, I'm Trevor Curl. Hopefully we see you later tonight. If not, we will see you tomorrow back home at Falcon Park for a doubleheader against the Jamestown Tarp Skunks.